This is Edo Executive Platform. Right Honorable Paul Okobamu, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Satoni Aredu, you are welcome. My Honorable, you are welcome to the program. Could you please give us a brief assessment of this government, barely 1 year in office?
The desired goal is to ensure that the people take possession and ownership of policies and programs of government.
It is your duty to create wealth and employment. And how does it feel to wear this very big shoe?
It's Herculean, it's challenging, but I believe very strongly that we'll be able to overcome.
Would you say that the government has done well in its public enlightenment campaign?
Every child in Edo State, even primary school children, if you ask who is where can state government, tell me Governor Obaseki.
I will commit myself to them, and I'll use every ounce of strength that God has given me to work for my people of Edo State.
This is Edo Executive Platform, a program that is designed to bring to bear the policies and programs of Edo State government under the leadership of Godwin Obaseki. It will also provide accurate information about the developmental strides of the government in all the sectors of the state. As the program unfolds, it will afford the viewer, Edo people, and of course the residents in the state the opportunity to air their views and contribute to the development conversations. With me on this edition of the program is the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Special Duties, Mr. Mika Amanokha. You're welcome, sir. And my name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa Yoranko for the program. You are welcome.
His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, will be playing host to top Nigerian and international business leaders, investors, bankers, industry experts, policymakers, and the academia to the maiden Alagodao Investment Summit with the theme Envisioning the Future. The 3-day summit christened Alagodao, which means Progress, holds on Friday 10th November to Sunday 12th November 2017 at the Edo Hotels, Okada Avenue, GRA, Benin City. Dignitaries expected at the summit are His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, His Excellency the Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, Minister for Industry Dr. Okisuku Enelema, Minister for State for Earth Dr. Osagi Ihanere. Others are former Governor of Cross River State His Excellency Donald Duke, former Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase, Senator Ben Murray Bruce, Alhaji Alinko Dagote, Kasmas Maduka, and other business executives. Alagodaro Investment Summit is all about job and wealth creation. So let's go further together.
My Honorable Commissioner, your portfolio addresses a critical demography in the state. How daunting has it been communicating with the youths this past month?
Thank you for the question. Basically, it's about understanding the youth. It's about understanding the issues. It's about understanding how the communication should be. And all of that we have tried to do, understanding the issues. Of course, we are youths, we know the language, we are familiar with the issues. And so it's not been much of a problem.
And commandeering them?
Yeah, of course, once you speak the language, you talk in line as somebody who is well informed with the issues, and they hear what they need to be told. And of course, they see the action that you take in. You don't need to do much in commandeering. You don't need military fiat. You don't need braggadocious attitude to be able to get them in line. The issues, I think they are very clear, and the policy of the government of Godwin Obaseki is straight. So commandeering them is as simple as marshalling out what we have thought through carefully, what to do, and getting them to key in.
Any gray areas so far?
None.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now, Edo is hosting an investment summit with the tagline, Alagodaro. Can you briefly itemize some of these programs in your portfolio geared towards achieving the governor's target to boost investments in these young people?
Yeah, basically, Alagodaro is about the economic development, reforms, environmental sustainability. And when we talk about economic development, we're talking about the agricultural economy, we're talking about the manufacturing economy, and the likes. And you know that what that atmosphere creates is of job creation, opportunity to partake in an entrepreneurial, activities. In order to fit into this policy framework, we are preparing our youth via skills acquisition, skill development, both schooled and unschooled. We have general problem in Nigeria today about the employability of Nigerian youth. So it's not it's not an Edo problem. It's a general problem. So what we have done differently is to quickly identify that it's a problem that exists. So whether you are schooled by being a graduate or not, we try to find a way to improve on the skills via ICT and of course entrepreneurial development as well as skills acquisition. So in doing all of that, we capture those that have gone through school and those that were not able to go through school. And basically, these are going to be the driver or drivers of these investments that have been attracted, these investments that are coming in here to set up. We don't expect that because you come from Malaysia, you have to go and bring everybody from Malaysia. We don't expect that because you come from Lagos, you have to go and bring everybody from Lagos. Basically, it will throw up, all of this Alagodaro philosophy is to throw open opportunities. And for us to be able to partake in this opportunity, then we're looking at, preparing our youths via what I just atomized as skill acquisition, entrepreneurial development, and mastering of it, and all of that.
Thank you. The state recently proposed building 20 mini stadia across the 18 local government areas of the state. Now, what are the plans to mobilize these youths to be part of this?
Yeah, the development of 20 I think first we have to commend the courage of Mr. Governor, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki, and I personally will have to appreciate him for listening to us and our proposal and the passion that he has for the Edo youth. Again, I take you back to the youth. At the moment, there is nothing that is engaging that they are involved with. And that is why it is easy, to find them getting involved in all kinds of vices, negative vices. So what we are doing as a youth ministry first is to identify key engagement areas. And we have identified spots. So in the next few weeks, we are going to revive 2 key sporting programs, the Governor's Cup and the Principal's Cup. In order to get this effectively domesticated across the entire local governments, you do need stadiums. You do need a congregating point where all the villages or the urban areas within a local government can converge and take part in these sporting activities. So it's meant to deepen the participation of our youths, whether at the urban area, semi-urban area, at the villages, and of course in the metropolitan city of Benin. And that is why carefully we are citing about 5 stadiums in Benin outside the stadium, some of which we will serve as training ground for the stadium itself, and the others will serve as grounds for competition. So no doubt, the essence of it is to deepen the participation of the youth across the 18 local governments.
Okay, recently the state government set up a task force and is working with the Irish government to curtail human trafficking. Could you just throw more light into this, please?
Yeah, it goes beyond Irish government, really. We are in good communication with the EU generally, and some countries that are not members of EU. It's a huge problem, a terrible problem, a scandalous one, where our youths, their participation in illegal migration, majorly, research has shown clearly that it's not poverty, it's ignorance. Yeah, because come to look at it, many of the victims, many of them are graduates. Some of them are serving corps members. And so what happens is they fall into the hands of traffickers, and they willingly allow themselves to be misinformed, and they buy into it. So a situation where you have a young doctor in Nigeria today, whether a doctor treks 5 kilometers to your destination, once you know that there's a medical doctor, it doesn't matter the age. You know, in Nigeria, many people will stand up by way of courtesy. They give a lot of respect for being a medical doctor. And so it goes beyond material gain. It's prestige. And then such a fellow travels out of the country because you are not used to the rudiments, medical rudiments of that country, or you don't even speak their language. You leave Nigeria trained in English, you go to a Spanish city or something, and they don't speak English there, they speak Spanish. How can you administer to a patient there? Hurdle number one. And then for you to go through that initial process of learning their language, you have to accept, you must survive, and then you have to accept minimal degrading level of job.
What about playing the hide and seek with the authorities?
Of course, it's part of it. You can't come out the daytime because you are scared, you don't have papers. So you end up washing dishes at the restaurants. You end up, being a morgue attendant,
washing
the mortuary, and all kinds of degrading and dehumanizing practices. You won't accept here, you accept them out there. Okay, so you find that if such a fellow had stayed back and commit 5-10 years to building a career
here in Nigeria,
here back home here, you would have attained a high level of promotion, and maybe you would have survived poverty in quotes and all of that. So it goes beyond the issue of lack. And that is why Edo State government, under the leadership of Godwin Obaseki, has deemed it fit to set up a task force. First, to identify the traffickers who go out there promising juicy jobs and deceiving innocent youths into this journey of unknown destination. Okay, so when you track them, once we're able to track them, we'll be able to limit. It's a process that we won't be able to defeat. We may not be able to defeat in the nearest possible time, but we would be able to reduce the level of trafficking. That is not to say this government does not encourage migration. Of course, it's a good thing to be able to migrate out of your country and partake in legal economic activities, building up yourself, human capacity building across all sectors. But that should be done within the tenets of the law, the process that is permitted by the law, not going through very harrowing conditions in the desert or on top of the sea that expose you to hazards and dehumanizing kinds of conditions. Yeah, it's a 50-50 thing, but they tell you it's smooth. It's as good as living Benin to Lagos, but it's not as easy as that. So a lot of advocacy is required, and we are appealing to Edolites to see the good aspect of this, to join forces with the government of the day. It is not about attacking those that have gone out of the country. It is not about saying you cannot go out of the country. It's not about saying that what you are doing out there is not legitimate. It's about doing it in the right way, in the right manner, and not get dehumanized when you get out of this country.
All right, if you are just joining us, this is Edo Executive Platform. We'll take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll continue with the program. Stay with us.
I will commit myself to them, and I'll use every ounce of strength that God has given me to work for my people of Edo State.
His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, will be playing host to top Nigerian and international business leaders, investors, bankers, industry experts, policymakers, and the academia to the maiden Alagodao Investment Summit with the theme Envisioning the Future. The 3-day summit christened Alagodao, which means progress, holds on Friday 10th November to Sunday 12th November 2017 at the Edo Hotels, Okada Avenue, GRA, Benin City. Dignitaries expected at the summit are His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, His Excellency the Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, Minister for Industry Dr. Okisuku Enelema, Minister for State for Health Dr. Osagi Ihanere. Others are former Governor of Cross River State His Excellency Donald Duke, former Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase, Senator Ben More-Bruce, Alhaji Alinko Dagote, Kasmas Maduka, and other business executives. Alagodaro Investment Summit, it's all about job and wealth creation. So let's go further.
Edo Executive Platform. We still have the Honorable Commissioner for Youths and their Special Duties, Mr. Mika Amanokha. Thank you so very much for still being with us on the program. Now, crime statistics put ages of most crime suspects at between 15 and 25 years of age. Are there holistic plans in tackling this potential menace of youth involvement in crime?
Yeah, sure. What we have done in Edo State under the leadership of His Excellency Godwin Obaseki is not to throw money at the problem. It's not to go out there and say, yes, there is a problem, and just attempt to jump at solving it. So what we're doing in Edo State via the ministry is, like I said earlier on, understanding it. One of the things we have decided to do in tinkering with the existing structure is to say, for instance, we want to empower youth. How do you empower youth? Is it about going to the market, shopping for sewing machines, welding machines, and all of that, and then assemble some youths and giving it out to them? Over time, both federal government and state government have done all of that, and it has not helped. And that is why we are placing premium on training. And even in training, it's not about putting 100 together, train them, whether they understand the issues or not, whether they understand the trade or not, you give them starter packs. No. There's room for competition and merit. If you put in 50 people together, 50 youths together, and they don't show the commitment that is desired and required, they don't show the passion, we phase them out and bring in another set. And so until we get those that have the passion and commitment, we will not give out anything. The essence of this is this.
Why phase them out?
Yeah, the essence of it is this. When you now have, for instance, say 30 that have the passion and commitment to deal, you can then train them, and if you now give a welding machine, for instance, you are not sure that welding machine is not going back to the street to be sold. The beneficiary will take that and go to set up. It's not only going with that welding machine. The state government, through Smeltdown and other SME platforms, will give some soft loan that will enable you rent a place depending on the kind of business, or erect a sort of a makeshift capital, startup capital, to enable you kickstart. So when you would have been so empowered, that empowerment now goes beyond you as a person. Certainly you would need an assistant. So that empowerment to one person is translating into empowerment for 2 persons. Or more, as the case may be. So it's a step away from, oh, these are youths, they need jobs, you give them starter packs. They leave you, they go straight to those that need them actually, and sell to them. So what we are saying and what we're doing differently now is to identify those who really need them, who have passion to do these things. And then we train them, they show commitment, passion, and above all, on merit. If we are 5 people in a class, we take part in exams. If I come last, I shouldn't be given a certificate for the first, meant for the first person. And so until competition begin to come into the system, until merit is beginning to come back to the system, we may just remain where we are in. With this model, we expect that we will liberate many youths who will in turn liberate others. So we identified unemployed young people and transforming them to employers of labor.
Now, the ones that you have phased out, is there hope for them?
Yeah, sure.
Or you keep training them until you find
yes.
that a unique selling point?
Of course. We will not allow them to remain hopeless. Again, don't forget that change is meant to be resisted at first. When they will now see where they failed, others are succeeding in that, they are not likely going to have a change of attitude when they get another opportunity to be committed. And they would have seen the difference that empowerment is making in another person's life. So you don't need counseling. You don't need encouragement. You don't need to force anybody. The result itself speaks for what it is that we are doing. And I tell you, once such spirit gets into the youth and they know they have to work to earn a living, the get-rich-quick syndrome will begin to get addressed. The crime you talked about will begin to get addressed. The whole thing is about letting people know that there is a reward for hard work. Even if it's not hard, there is a reward for work. So let's even start to work. From work, you cannot begin to get encouraged to work hard. From hard, you work harder. And I tell you, it will do a lot in limiting the crime rate in the society.
Okay. Now, with so much investment expected as the fallout from the planned investment summit, how is your ministry poised to leverage on these expected gains?
Oh yeah, like I said earlier on in the program, the government is doing a lot, and we certainly are going to be a major beneficiary of this summit. For instance, the technical training, the technical college that is being revamped at the moment by the governor, you know, is the youths that will be trained there. The students are actually the intellectual wing of the youths. So, you know, Switzerland, for instance, they do not have natural resources, and they looked inward and said, what can we sell to the world? And they told themselves truth. And that has formed the basis upon the development of that country. So we have looked inward. What do we have to sell to increase traffic? And part of what we can sell is skills. So we will continue to train our youths and export them. We will train manpower, we will develop our youths, even when we don't have enough factories or industries to absorb them. We cannot begin to train them for our neighboring states. But I assure you that the major takeaway we will get here as a ministry is to identify the likely area where labor will be sourced, and then we will tailor the training towards that. Maybe fabrication, maybe woodwork. We'll quickly identify and key in, maybe agriculture.
Well, I'm sure you are doing a very good job. Well, with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of the program, Edo Executive Platform. I would like to say a big thank you to the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Special Duties, Mr. Mika Amanokha, for coming on the program. Thank you so very much. And I'm sure when we call on you again, you definitely will oblige us. Because talking about the youth, they need to be educated and re-educated. Good. And we'd like to say a big thank you to Mr. Governor for bringing economic development to our states, and of course, youth reforms and empowerment and skill acquisition. My name remains Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Thank you for staying with us.
His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, will be playing host to top Nigerian and international business leaders, investors, bankers, industry experts, policymakers, and the academia to the maiden Alagodao Investment Summit with the theme Envisioning the Future. The 3-day summit christened Alagodao, which means Progress, holds on Friday 10th November to Sunday 12th November 2017 at the Edo Hotels, Okada Avenue, GRA, Benin City. Dignitaries expected at the summit are His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, His Excellency the Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibanja, Minister for Industry Dr. Okisuku Enelema, Minister for State for Earth Dr. Osagi Ihanere. Others are former Governor of Cross River State, His Excellency Donald Duke, former Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase, Senator Ben Morebros, Alahaji Alinko Dagote, Kasmas Maduka, and other business executives. Alagodaro Investment Summit. It's all about job and wealth creation. So let's go further together.